This recording is going to show you how to actually input tracks into your Google Earth spreadsheet that includes all of your pins right now. You've already finished all your pins, just as I've done here as well. If I zoom in on them, you can see that I've got all of my information located on them, all the way through to where I actually start. All right? So if we get back to where I started, this is where I want to be initially. We'll zoom in a little bit more so we can see what I'm doing. You'll notice that over here on the right-hand side of my screen, I've got all my category information on my sticky note that I had from the previous part of this. And now I've added another sticky note over here that includes all my category information along with the color of the track that I'm going to include. So if I was doing a tropical depression, it would be white. Tropical storm would be orange. Category 1 would be yellow. Category 2, green. 3, blue. 4, purple. 5, pink. An extratropical storm is white. You may not have all these categories in yours, and that's just fine. But we need to adhere to the colors so that it all makes sense when we present all together. Over here on the side, I've got Hurricane Isabel. I have the pins folder with all my information in there. And then underneath that, I've got my Hurricane Isabel tracks. This is where I want my track information to go. So I want to make sure that I've turned that one on and that it's also selected. So not only does it have a checkbox in it, but now it also is blue. Up here at the top, I've got my push pin that I used before. Next to that, I have add polygon. And next to that, I have add path. That's what we want to use. So if I click on that, I'm going to come up and I'm going to get this new screen. Okay? I'm going to move it off to the side just a little bit so I can see what I'm doing here. Notice that on September 6th at midnight, 000 UTC, this is now a tropical depression. On September 6th at 0600 UTC, it's a tropical storm. But from here to here, it's going to be a tropical depression. So I'm going to want to draw a line from here to here that is going to be white. First thing I want to do is title my path. So in this case, I'm going to say that it's a tropical depression, TD, space dash space, and this is going to be my path number 1, or my track number 1. I'm going to have a lot of different tracks, so it's easiest for me to actually identify which track I'm dealing with. So I know that track number 1 is going to be a tropical depression. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click right here on September 6th. What's going to happen is it's going to put down a little dot. Everywhere that I click, it will put down another dot. So it can get a little crazy really, really fast. So if I put down a dot, you don't actually see it, but I just clicked. Now when I go over here and I click again, now it draws a line. Okay? If I go crazy and I click all over the place, it gets a little crazy. Notice that there's a green dot right there. When I hover over it, it's green. When it's blue, and there's also red. Red means that the pin has been placed and hasn't been selected. Blue means it's the end point, and green means it's active. If I need to clean that up, I can hover over it so it's green, hit delete, and it will go away. Hover over it, delete, it will go away. Hover over it, delete, away. Hover over it, delete, away. Hover over it, delete, away. This is what I want. Okay, I've got that one line. Now I need to go over here to style and color. I need to select my color. In this case, since I'm only doing tropical depression, it should be white. But I do want to make that line a little bigger. It's just a little thin right now. So I'm going to increase the width to 5. And we're going to keep it just like that. I want to make sure of my altitude. See how it's clamped to the ground? If I clamp it to the ground, it's going to go underneath the water. So I'd rather it not do that. Okay, what I want to do is I want to have it be relative to the seafloor. So it's going to be at a certain elevation. So we can go ahead and do that and say, okay. And now I've got my first track. It's ready to go. So I can continue on down through this, and I'm going to do the next one here as well. So keep in mind that if you have the pin selected, if you have the path selection tool, and you try and move the screen with your mouse, it will put pins all over the place. So try and control your screen with just the arrow keys. If we take a look here from September 6th all the way through all of these, all the way over here to this one, that's all going to be a tropical storm, and that's all going to be orange. So let's do another one. I'm going to go up here. First, I'm going to make sure that Hurricane Isabel is selected. I'm going to go up here. I'm going to add path. I get my new screen. In this case, I want to say tropical storm, space dash space. In this case, it's going to be track number 2. Okay? And I'm going to move this off of the way so I don't have to worry about it. I'm going to click right here where I ended. Doesn't show up as anything, but that's okay. As soon as I click another place, it's going to show up. And then it's going to go here. And all I'm doing is just clicking in the middle of that icon there. So now I've got a line. If I click anywhere else in this thing, it's going to like draw a line. I don't want it to do that. To get rid of that, remember again, change it to red, green, delete. I'm going to bring my screen back in. I'm going to change my style and color. I'm going to change my color from here. So there's a couple different options. There's the wheel, there's sliders, there's an Apple color selector, there's spectrum, and there's also Crayola colors. It's up to you how you want to do it. I need to choose an orange, right? Because that's what this says for an orange. So I've got a couple different options. I'm going to choose tangerine. It's a good color. I try and always choose the ones across the middle if I'm going to use the Crayola ones. These are too dark up here, and these are too light. It's kind of a Goldilocks situation. So we'll choose tangerine. There we go. And I'll say, OK. Now also, I can drag this, and I can put that into my selector panel, and it will always show up. So I can always make sure that I have the same color. So I'll say, OK. There it goes. You can see it's already like that. I've already set my width to be 5. Go over here to altitude. I'm going to say have it be relative to the seafloor. There we go. Done. Right? We're ready to go. And then I can say, OK. And now I've done 2 tracks. If I turn off my pins, all I see are just the tracks. So that's exactly how you do it. You shouldn't have any problem. Just work your way through, connect the icons. Pay attention to your category colors. Good luck.